Just played Catch a Rising Star. Give it up for Brian Stedman. What's up, AC? You can do better than that. Come on. What's up, AC? God, I love it when you guys do that. Gave myself a little chubby there. I mean, I can't see it, but I felt something move down there. Guys, every single guy in this room, man, you're young. Go get one of these things eventually, man. These things are awesome. Seriously, man. Every time I get tired, I get lazy. I got a place to rest my arm now. It's fucking awesome. You know, it's even better in the summertime. I got a little indentation here. My beer fits perfectly right here. So, I love it. Now let's address the elephant in the room before I get going too far. I just want to address this right away. Yes, ladies, I am single. All right, fuck all of you. Gotta admit, that kind of hurt, guys. And when I say elephant in the room, it's not because I'm fat and I have a good memory. It's because I have a nice trunk and I like it in the bush. So, I think I lost some. See, you gotta understand, when I say bush, sir, vagina used to come with hair on it. See, don't look at her and see if I'm saying the truth. I wouldn't lie to you about something like that, man. It used to come with hair on it, man. See, when I was your age, if I put my hand down there and just felt smooth skin, yeah, I'd put myself in jail at that point. Like, how the hell did I know she was only 15, Your Honor? She looked 18 to me anyway, so. No. Now, if you guys haven't figured out so far, I'm pretty fucked up. The main reason I came to comedy, honestly, is that it's cheaper than therapy. So I'd like to thank you all for being part of my group session tonight. I'm going to work some shit out up here. All right. First off, guys, I've been shot twice. I've been stabbed 7 times. Yeah. I was born and raised in Detroit, and then moved to New York in the 80s to feel safe. Those of you who are not laughing have obviously never been to Detroit. So. But most of all, I'm the smallest male in my family. Yeah, take that one in. I had 2 older brothers. My dad was all bigger than me. But the crazy thing is, none of us were the toughest person in my family. Who do you think the toughest person in my family was? My mom, absolutely. My mom was 5'5", maybe 105 pounds. You definitely did not mess with my mom. I was 8 years old. My brothers and my dad called me in their room one day and said, "Listen, little man, you've been acting up lately. So we're going to tell you this once in one time only. If you ever even think about hitting mom, you better kill her on the first shot. She's coming after you after that one. She's going to make you pay dearly." You know, my oldest brother decided to test her one night. We call him the dumb one. She's sleeping on the couch. She reaches down, grabs her by the ankles, picks her up, and he holds her upside down. Yeah, 2 seconds later, it sounded like I had 2 sisters in the house. My brother let out a scream that should never come out of a grown man's mouth. She reached straight up, grabbed him right by the nuts, squoze, twisted, and said, "If you drop me, they're coming with me." She said it in that voice, too, kind of freaked us out a little bit. Now, don't get me wrong, I love my mom to death, but I do blame her for all the problems I've had with women in my life. Because just like most guys, I always try to bring home women my mom would like, appreciate, or at least get along with. The only problem is my mom wasn't only tough, she was kind of a mixture of Gary Busey and Cardi B on her period. You know, kind of that crazy. Give you an example, my ex-wife, I should have known she was crazy. She got along really well with my mom. First year we were together, I let her pick out our Halloween costumes. She decided we were going to go as John and Lorena Bobbitt. Yeah, remember them? The girl that cut off her husband's schlong while he was sleeping and threw it out the car window she drove away? Yeah, we show up at the party, I'm wearing a bloody bandage. She walked around the room with a knife and the biggest, biggest dildo you've ever seen in your life. You know, because as she said, we wanted to keep it realistic. Last girl I was with, she told me the name of her JJ was Prozac. I was like, oh, isn't that cute? It was cute until I found out she had been writing prescriptions to all my friends. Yeah. So I renamed it Bernie Madoff. Because every time we had sex, it burned when I peed, and she made up with all of my money. So, yeah, I miss her though. Crazy, I miss her. Out of all the girls I've been with, I miss her the most. You know, she had these perfect tits, guys. It was amazing. I'm a breast man, I can't help it. She had perfect tits. We were a modern relationship. We went to high school together, but we never ran in the same cycles. We kind of had different friends. We met 30 years later on Facebook and started dating then. And I'm so glad I waited. Because when we were in high school, they were nice, they were perky. She was a cheerleader. Looked like 2 party balloons with a knot right on the end, you know, you can hang stuff on. It was nice. But when we started dating, it was 30 years later. She had 4 kids. I could now suck on her nipples and her clit at the same time, guys. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. She'd be, you know, we'd be watching a movie, she'd hand one over, I could suck it while we watched. It was absolutely awesome. So, now I don't mind getting older. You guys mind getting older? Anybody celebrating birthdays? Birthday back here? You mind getting older? See, I don't understand people get upset when they get older. You can do the same things you did when you were younger. You just got to tweak them just a little bit. Right? Like, I still like going to the nightclub with my friends. The only difference is now is we go at 3 in the morning, and we sit outside the club, we wait for the drunk girls to come out in their high heels, looking at a newborn giraffe trying to walk for the first time. And then we bet on them. You know, we bet if they're wearing underwear, whether they're going to fall or not. It's like sports betting, you know? I still like watching porn. I watch the same amount of porn as I did when I was younger. The only difference is now is I need my readers to see what I'm looking at. You know? But you guys laugh, but it's a big deal, because every time you really start getting into it, you got to stop, push your glasses back up, and that breaks the rhythm. You know? And when you get older, you got to start over from scratch sometimes. It's not always cool. You know? The thing I love about getting older, too, is I look at my parents so much differently now. My parents, you know, the way that they looked at things, they were masters of word manipulation. Like, no kid back in the day had ADD. The kid was hyperactive. You set them outside to play more, you didn't give them drugs. You know? No parents beat their children. They disciplined them. And kids were better behaved. You know? There was no such thing as pedophiles back in the day. We had priests. Or scout leaders, whichever one you want to go with. But my favorite thing is they never called it addiction. They called it social. Like, I came from an entire family of social drinkers that could kill 3 bottles of Jack Daniels at dinner every night and be hammered by 7 o'clock. But it was social. Yeah. I'm kind of proud of this. I'm the only person in my family never to become a social drinker. I broke the chain. Oh, you're not going to applaud after this. Because instead, I decided to become a social heroin and cocaine user. So, important thing is I broke the chain, guys. I broke the chain. And I can feel every single one of you looking at me right now going, there's no fucking way a guy that fat does heroin and cocaine. You're right, guys. Actually, this marks 30 years I've been away from hard drugs. So, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. I mean, I still smoke weed and do mushrooms, but that's medicine, guys. That's not the same thing. It's medicine. Where my potheads at? Okay, good. Thank you. All right, you got to understand, the reason I asked that question is a couple months ago, we got a cop convention here in Atlantic City, and for like a whole week, the entire audience were cops. And I know marijuana is legal here in New Jersey, but I was still not comfortable around that many cops. So I stopped bringing it in with me to the show, so I'm just asking that question to see if I can get hooked up later on. So, somebody want to do that little quick slap handshake with me? I'd really appreciate it. I'm kind of fucking jonesing up here. So, you do edibles? Guys do edibles? No, hell no. Edibles are like the devil. I've smoked weed since I was 8 years old, so I know how that shit affects me. Guy gave me 2 of those Rice Krispie treats the other day. I ate one of them. I waited like an hour and a half. I'm like, these things fucking suck. I don't feel anything. So I ate the other one. Because I'm a fat guy and it's a Rice Krispie treat. You know? And I waited another half hour. I'm like, this is bullshit. I'm getting ready for my day. So I stepped into the shower. Yo. That shit all hit me at once. I spent the next hour and a half in the shower just playing with the water. Yeah, I got out, it took me almost an hour just to dry off. Because that is the softest towel I've ever felt in my life. It's like, oh my God, when did I buy this? But then that shit turned on me, guys. Stepped in my bedroom, there was a snake in my bedroom. I spent the next 3 hours running around the apartment, butt-ass naked, crying like a little girl, before I realized it was just my belt. Now, I want to give all the guys in the room, there's a couple of guys in the room with their couples, with their ladies. I want to give you some advice tonight. So we want to wait for your lady to go to bed before you go out tonight. Remember these 3 things. I wish they told me when I first moved here. All right? Number 1, some of the girls down here do charge by the pound. All right? When you're my size, that can be pretty expensive, okay? Number 2, and what I thought should have been the slogan for Atlantic City, and that's always look for the Adam's apple first. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Sometimes you feel like some nuts, sometimes you don't. I just believe in the truth in advertising. And last but not least, my personal favorite, if you meet them on the boardwalk, you give them $10 extra, they will take their teeth out. Don't be so grossed out, guys. You have not lived and you've got a gummer. I'm telling you that right now. And the minute you do, you're going home, you're throwing out your girl's toothbrush and praying for gingivitis. All right, guys, that is my time. Thank you so much for coming out. I love you all.
Brian Stedman. When I look at Brian Stedman, I think